Hello, everybody, and welcome to Middle Age Geeks, a podcast where we chat about games, TV, movies, and everything in between. Although this week it might feature Tom Cruise heavily. I'm joined by my trusty co-host Phil, a man who's no stranger to impossible missions, being a Man United fan like me, and has thrown himself out of a plane or two. How are you doing, Philly?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I don't think we should mention Man United on the podcast anymore. It's just fucking depressing. But no, I'm pretty good, man. It's been a decent week, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting stuck into having a chat about this week's movie.
Yeah, me too. This is going to be a good one. If you're new to the podcast, we'll chat about some news, what we've been watching and playing, and then get stuck into our movie review, which is The Final Reckoning or Dead Reckoning 2, or maybe another Mission Impossible, whatever you want to call it. So first and foremost, let's get stuck into some news. What has been tickling your fancy this week?
Not a massive amount on my end. Just a couple of trailers. The Welcome to Derry trailer. I know you haven't watched it. Did you watch it? No.
No.
So I don't think you're going to watch this either. But
It's just too
like
scary.
it. Chapter one is really, really good. Second one was a bit of a letdown, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So that trailer looks kind of cool. And then the Jurassic World Rebirth latest trailer. Did you look at that one?
Yeah, I'm I don't want to get ahead of myself because I'm just going to be disappointed again. But it looked pretty good. It's a decent enough trailer. Looks
Was
good.
that? But was that Tyrannosaurus swimming underwater? Was that
Oh
it?
yeah. That like there's bits of it that straight away just bring you back to like, oh god, they're just running out of ideas, and they still throw in the trailer where it's like, oh, it's good and some nice kind of set pieces, anything with fucking pterodactyls or whatever. Should be more of them in it. They're just terrifying if you're hanging on a cliff edge. But then they cut to like, oh, here's another monster that kind of looks like a dude or something with a weird fucking jaw, and just like, oh, there's another new monster. Just I still kind of go, just stick to just more inventive ways to get the most out of actual dinosaurs. Like, because
Yeah, aren't they interesting enough?
yeah, T-Rex it's scary enough. Just oh my god, yeah, just go back to the original movie. That's still some of the scariest fucking scenes. You don't need new mutant fucking dinosaurs. Are you hyped by the trailer?
Yeah, look, I mean, I like. I mean, I'm a big fan of Scarlett Johansson, and like, I think it could be good. I'm like you though. I prefer like these mutant dinosaurs that they're
Hmm.
making. I just haven't been a fan of. It. What did they call it? What was it called? The first one, the Indominus Rex,
Dominus Rex, yeah.
yeah, something
Just
like that.
like,
Yeah, yeah. Just I'm not a massive fan of that kind of side of it. But look, it's gonna be hopefully if it's a good if they kind of get it back to basics, it could be decent enough.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so it should be all right. But yeah, the only other bit of news I had was regarding Marvel. Like we've talked a bit about Doomsday,
Mm,
and the whole Marvel schedule obviously had to be changed. Everything with Jonathan Majors, and
yeah.
everything just being thrown in the air. But it's now being pushed back to December 26th, and it's going to be on the release. Well, it's down to be released the same day as Dune Messiah.
Oh wow.
So I don't know if that'll happen. I can't imagine the two of those will get released on the same
Have
day.
any big Marvel movies been released for Christmas time? It was strange from that
No, I mean,
before.
so yeah. That being said, like you could end up say being pushed back to you know
Be next summer,
May
yeah.
27 or something like that.
Mm,
But
yeah.
yeah, no, I've nothing really else on my end. Well, what about yourself?
I just a few little bits when I was scrolling around that like there's this new Street Fighter movie that's happening that added Jason Momoa and Rebecca or Roman Reigns as well. Like,
The
I just,
wrestler?
yeah, just like what's going on. So yeah, like yeah, Street Fighter. Yeah, once it's a little bit up on a patch on the Jean Claude Van Damme version, I'll be happy. Another few bits, yeah. There's like Zach Braff is now officially signed on for the Scrubs revival, and it's just like, hasn't that been
Yeah,
talked about for 10 years? And it's like, is that just past now? It's just destined to be that, when they leave it too long, like Dumb and Dumber and the sequel and stuff, and it's just they leave 15, 20 years between these things, and they come out and people just go, yeah, you
yeah. Like
just
it
yeah.
came out like at a perfect time, and
Hmm.
it was like everything apart from the intern season or whatever you want
Hmm.
to call it. That like everything apart from that, I thought it was great. I mean, it was really, 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 really funny and of its time. And the podcast that they have, the two of them together, him and Donald Faison, whatever his name
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
really, really good. Have you listened to that at all?
No, not at all. Yeah.
It's got like fake doctors, real friends. It's great.
That's a good name.
And they talk through the episodes and stuff. It was great. All the characters are fantastic. I think it can be difficult to recapture that magic. So, but look, who knows? I could be completely wrong. It could be cracking, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much on the news on my end. Pretty slow week. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into what we've been watching and playing this week. What have you been up to?
Well, the usual, we're weekly thing of the Last of Us. Can't believe
Great
it's
episode.
this weekend. It was the last episode of the season.
Wow.
Is mad. It's flown in.
Enjoyed that episode though.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it's like they've changed. Obviously, they've changed some of the stuff, like one of the cutscenes kind of in it. Is actually one of the almost the very last thing you see in the second game. So they obviously changed it around just for story reasons.
Yeah.
I'm still a fan. I know me and you were probably in the minority if it's based by reviews. Like audience scores are so low and
review bomb to hell. Like, very strange.
But yeah, look, I mean, I don't really care if I'm in the minority or not. I'm quite enjoying it, so I'm not going to complain too much. And then the other thing is I've been playing. I actually got some more time stuck into Doom this week.
How do you find it?
I love it, man. I think I'm on I think 16 or 17 now. I think it's level I'm on. There's only like 22 levels, so so I'm burning through it. Just fucking like it's carnage. And my OCD as well. Like if I get killed, I don't use any of those like bring you back to life things. Nope. I have to start the whole mission again. Go back. So it's taking me forever, and I'm trying to pick out the collectibles and get 100% and all. So I'm definitely getting my money's worth out of this game, and I got it on Game Pass. So it's fantastic. I'm loving it. Yeah, are you playing it yourself, or are you?
Yeah, I think I'm 4 missions in. Just got to the bit where you play the mech. I don't know how many times that features, and that's a bit of fun. It's a bit of, smashing big giant fucking creatures and stuff. It's great, but it does kind of take away from. I kind of want to be on the ground. I know there's a dragon level coming, and I've heard great things about that. But yeah, I love it. It's just very fluid, and I love the way that each game is not completely different, but definitely goes on a different angle. I'm still at 2016 Doom, kind of the remake. That's my favorite one. Doom Eternal was a bit too platformy for me, and this I'm loving the shield. I'm loving the kind of projectile and dodging and parrying and stuff like that. Is kind of a lot of fun. It's just a new visual, a new take, and he's just badass. And I like the fact that they're trying to do something with the story.
Yeah,
but like even though like these things always start with like release the Slayer, and it's just so fucking absurd and nonsense. But it's just get me on the ground and let me mash
guns,
people.
Yeah. It's just getting more great guns, and they're just
And the music is pretty good. It's not as badass as the previous 2 installments, but maybe that's to do with the setting or something. But yeah, I'm just really enjoying it. Like they know what they're doing. Id Software don't know how to make a bad game. You know what I mean? It's fucking kick ass. What have you been watching?
No, fuck all, man. Nothing new. It's just no. What about yourself?
Watching wise, just The Last of Us. Actually watched it twice and bawled my eyes out both times. I watched it with Ali, and she was absolutely in bits. And I knew what the episode was, what was coming. She was like, "Oh, I hope this isn't like I can't take any more any flashback to Joel. I know they're going to do it at some point." It's just like, "Oh fuck, here we go." It's that final scene, like when I told her afterwards that like that's how the game ends. She was like, "Oh my god, like that's pretty much what you're left with." Gut wrenching, but yeah, it's really good. I'm looking forward to seeing at what point or how much further they progress the story to give us a cliffhanger. So that's great. Yeah, I've been playing Doom and finished Expedition 33. Which like I don't see anything beating this for Game of the Year.
You're going to get more hate mail, for calling things Game of the Year.
I know. Yeah.
I haven't called anything yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was it. But yeah, you're going to get another. You're going to get more abuse. That
fucking hell, so much abuse online. Just like just Game of the Year, just like Assassin's Creed. Just like the first 25 hours of Assassin's Creed, I really liked it. I haven't touched it since because it fell off a cliff. But yeah, we've chatted about this game so much, but it's just it's exceptional. It's masterful execution of a wild and magical concept. That and they stick the landing like it's the 3 acts, and the story takes wild turns. And the acting, Charlie Cox and Andy Serkis, they're just astonishing. But like the visuals, where it goes towards the end of the movie, or it's the end of the movie, it's kind of like a movie. Towards the end of the game is just astonishing, and combat system gets better and better. And I can't believe how much I love this competition. I would go back and play this game again tomorrow fully if there was nothing else coming out, or nothing else to play. I'd probably play it for the end, or till the end of the year. I love it so much. It's 10 out of 10 for me, hands down. One of the best games, and it's a perfect example of like Doom, Dark Ages, which I'm loving. Like really enjoying that game. I give it like an 8.5, maybe 9 out of 10, and this being a 10 out of 10. The difference for me from those games is they're in different fucking galaxies. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
And someone online said it best when he said like this, the music and the graphics and the world and everything about Expedition 33 is just like, he just said he loves it so much that he just wants everything to do with that now. He wants books, he wants comics, movies, graphic novels, everything. I just want to be absorbed by that world.
That I remember I have that feeling with BioShock, Rapture.
Exactly.
I was like, oh god, anything of Rapture, posters of it, everything, the music, everything they created, it just fit perfectly together. You're like, yeah, I just want more of that.
Yeah, you just want to live in that world. So yeah, so it's just a little bit better than Assassin's Creed. No, it's 10 times better than Assassin's Creed. But yeah. So okay, with that out of the way, then let's get on to the main guts of the podcast, our movie review, which is the Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, the Tom Cruise movie being Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, or Final Reckoning, Dead Reckoning Part 2, or Final Reckoning, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So this is the 8th, isn't it? The 8th and last
movie, yeah.
8th and last installment.
Suppose it'll last. I don't know.
Suppose it'll last. Yeah, I think it will be though. Like I think he had said previously that he would be interested in doing stuff with the character, but then I think that one of the interviews he had the end of last year, he was saying it's called Final Reckoning for a reason. Like there's not going to be any more. So I think let it die. Let it die. Like you've got a good fucking stretch out of it. The first one came out in 96. Like so, it's got an incredible run. So yeah, look, for people at home, look, we'll do a completely spoiler-free part at the start, and try and make that as meaty as possible without giving too much away. And then towards the end, we'll just kind of spoil some of the bigger parts and stuff that we are interested in talking about. But you'll get plenty of warning. So look, I suppose I'll just give the synopsis and a little bit of info about it, and then we kind of get your initial thoughts, Daz. So it's Ethan Hunt and the IMF continue their search for the terrifying AI known as the Entity, which has infiltrated government intelligence networks all over the globe. And then, joined by new allies and, all this shit, they go on the hunt to try and change the world. I'm losing interest in the thing. Like I have a whole synopsis of this, and that's like I'm cutting out half of it because I got bored reading it. It's a long old movie. Like a lot of people returned. Tom Cruise, Eddie Atwell, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Paul Clementieff, Hannah Waddington, who I loved with an American accent. She was great. Henry Zerny, Shea Wiggum, Tramell Tillman, who I just wanted to just try and fit in a joke around a disco party or something at some point. They should have just tried to squeeze it in some way. And Angela Bassett. The budget of this one, because of all the rewrites and all the delays and shit, they're saying I think minimum of 400 million.
Yeah,
is what they're saying. Like they were saying it was between 3 and 4, and now so it makes to make $1 billion. Like it's insane money. Like most of it, they filmed most of it around in the UK and Malta, South Africa, Norway. And it's just, to me, it's absolutely fucking wild that much money is spent on it.
Yeah.
Like it'll make money, but I just don't know if it's going to make.
But the first one, which was part 1, and that's why the reason they took out part 2 essentially with this was because the first one underperformed so much. Like it made 170 in the domestic and like just over half a billion, 550 or 560 million worldwide, which I'm not sure what the budget was, but I think the budget was like 250 or 270 million from that. So it didn't, it did okay, but not enough to like. This was already in the pipeline. So,
Yeah.
and the first one was struck by COVID, and this one was the writer's strike was right bang in the middle of it and all that. So it's I don't know. It didn't. Yeah, first one didn't do too well, and this one I can't see it making. I don't even
No.
think it'll make more than Dead Reckoning Part One. Like,
No, I mean, and part one's a much better movie.
yeah.
But on that, why don't we just get before we get into a bit more about it? Why don't you let me know what your initial thoughts were on this one?
Well, yeah, like you, I'm a big fan of the franchise. There's high points and low points. We talked about the second movie being the low point in the franchise, but I thought this was pretty much a shit show for me. I thought it was an absolute mess and a shocking. Like I was kind of shocked in the cinema at how much I was giggling and laughing at how much they were missing the mark with this, and like the fact that is it the second part of a movie? Is it the final movie? And if it's the final movie, the emotional payoffs, everything they're trying to do, which should be easy to stick the landing with this Mission Impossible team, it just didn't work at all. Like as you said, it's long, and I felt every fucking minute of it. And I like long movies, like when they're well paced and edited and engaging. I like them, but like for the first 80 minutes of this, it's just exposition, just people in rooms talking about things that are about to happen, that are happening, and that just happened. And if it's not those people talking, it's flashbacks back to earlier movies.
So many flashbacks to the previous movies.
And that is the mess part, where at one point this was definitely just part 2 of Dead Reckoning, which the title, and they said, right, we'll call it the final reckoning. And this is probably why the runtime is so long, but they've just shoehorned in all this fucking shit from like earlier movies and trying to retcon things from different movies like Mission Impossible 3 and the rabbit's foot that he stole and that. No, that's actually an AI or something. Like, fuck off. It wasn't. It's nothing to do with this movie, but they're trying to. There's one callback that's good. We get into kind of spoilers with an actor from the first movie, which is great. But again, it's great, but it doesn't really do anything for the movie. It's kind of like, oh, look, this is connected to the first movie and this is the final movie in the franchise. And it's just, I just thought the script was written by 12-year-olds. Like there's so many points where it just gets so convoluted. It's overly convoluted. We couldn't believe, like even at the start, you're looking at each other going, what the fuck? Why is this so? And it's not like high-end stuff that they're trying to, like that you can't grasp. Like
it's not
AI
high
or
concept.
No, high concept, not at all. It's just, why is this so convoluted, what they're talking about? And when we get into some of the set pieces and stuff, it's like, oh, this happens, and then while that's happening, this happens, and this happens, and then that other thing has to happen. And it's just like, oh my God. And just, and the last bit is like the villains, and I'm sorry, but this just, once you go into the whole AI destroying the world, the Mission Impossible things, there's a little sweet spot there where somebody doing something dastardly wants to blow up fucking London or something with a nuclear bomb, and you're going to solve it. Once you go to Ethan Hunt saving the human race from extinction, it's like, for fuck's sake, dial it back a bit. Like he becomes this messiah figure. It's just basically Tom Cruise's action Jesus, and the ego on show there is astonishing. We'll get to that as well. There's so many talking points, but I was not a fan. Like, just and I really was. I thought maybe I mightn't like it as much as the other ones, but I couldn't believe how, like, this is down there with Mission Impossible 2 for me. Like, it might be the worst one. How about you?
Like, I suppose I was thinking about it today, and I was like, okay, I'd have to add up if I added up all the individual parts and stuff, I'd almost come out with, okay, it's good in that the action scenes, like, I loved the submarine scene. I thought the way that was filmed, because you see it in the trailer and stuff, but the way when that's turning, when that's moving in the water, like that's great. That's incredible. I absolutely love it. And the sound of all the underwater stuff is just
that rumbling
amazing.
Of the seats.
Oh,
rumbling
God,
of it was amazing.
And like, especially if you're as terrified, because a lot of people are terrified of big, huge things, under the sea. You're seeing these massive fucking, massive submarines and the noise, the propeller and stuff. And it's dark and it's just, that shit is scary. And that I thought that was great. I really, really enjoyed that. The problem is, like, as you said, the script, like, it's so cheesy. Like the level of cheese is ridiculous. Like, so there's a part towards the end, I'll just say, when you watch the movie, there's a handshake at one point, right? And like I nearly squirmed down in my chair because from secondhand embarrassment, I was like, don't do it. Oh my god! And it was just, oh, it was
Straight out of
everything. Yeah,
1987.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was so much, and it's like, okay, look, a little bit of that's fine. That's what these movies have. You have a little bit thrown in. Their conversations with each other can be fucking super deep, and the respect they have. Get it. A little bit of that is great. It's fine, and
Yeah.
that's what these movies have. But the level of cheese in this movie was just, I couldn't deal with it, man. It was there was a lot of cringy stuff, and it's wild to me because it's same writer director. It's Christopher McQuarrie and his writing partner, whose name is
I have a theory
escaped me.
based on this now because remember the start of the movie, like it's hilarious because it comes up.
Oh, is this a Tom Cruise production?
Yeah, a Tom Cruise production. Just like, I don't think that's the name of the production company that made this. Paramount Pictures, actually, the logo came up to a Tom Cruise production straight away. Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible, and just I think Tom Cruise directed this movie. I think he's absolutely lost the plot, and he's just
Well, he was one of the producers. I know that.
Absolutely, but this is him going overboard because Christian McQuarrie is a far better director than making this. This is Tom going, no, let's do this and this, and it's just, my God.
Yeah, I never thought I'd actually kind of, because I love action scenes. We all do, especially the work that goes into them, not just by the stunt men and stuff, but the camera work, editing, everything that has to go into some of these bigger stunts. I find mind blowing. And Tom Cruise does so much of his own stuff, pretty much all of it. But there was like a point where you see in the trailer the stuff with the biplanes, and I was actually kind of going, I'm actually fucking bored of this. Just get it over with. Just finish the fucking. I was actually getting bored of the action scene because it was just.
I thought that as a final action scene. Like they show so much of this stuff in the trailer anyway, and like the last movie was the first one where they had like that 8-minute fucking behind the scenes thing about that motorbike going off the cliff and the ramp, and it's like it's all about and all this blah blah blah, and and it's because it's Tom Cruise is doing it. Oh my God, it's Tom Cruise, not a stuntman, it's Tom Cruise, and it is impressive. But it like comes to the movie and it's like, I know that's just a guy that is going on a motorbike and he stayed on a ramp, went off, and then just opened a parachute. It's just like fucking base jumping or something. It's like, it's cool. I probably wouldn't do that. But there was no like, whoa. And same with the planes. Like, it is fucking mad that he's on the side of this plane and it's turning around. He's upside down. The wind is blowing his fucking face and looks like he really looks his age in those scenes. His skin is fucking flapping all over the shop. But it does, you get to the point, like I was kind of going, would you just end the sequence? Like, because if you take Tom Cruise out of that sequence and it's just a stunt guy, you don't get those close-ups, it's not that riveting. He's moving from one seat in the plane to another one, and then just kind of like playing, then he just gets out of the plane or whatever happens. But like, he's not hanging from the plane. Like, he's harnessed in and they're digitally removing all that stuff.
It's still incredibly impressive to do that. Like,
absolutely. But for him to do it, yeah, it's impressive that he did it.
I think anybody did it, man. I wouldn't be strapped to the side of a fucking plane.
No.
Is you know what I mean? It's. I still think though doing those stunts, even as a stunt man, I still think the whole setup of those stunts, like the choreography and the setting up of those things, like their planes are actually flying. This isn't them and the whole thing, the green screen. I think that's what just I think, doing that alone, setting that whole thing. I think that is impressive. It's an impressive.
It's the set piece. The set piece. The production of it is impressive. When you're watching it in a movie, it's not that riveting because you're just going.
No, it's not, because we know he's obviously going to make. He's obviously going to make it in. And
like, you're not on the edge of your seat at all. Like,
No, it's kind of prop planes, and it's just like, why? And then the reason that they used it, we'll get to that when we get to the spoiler section. But the reason that they are prop planes is fucking ridiculous as well.
I brought a spare.
It's just, and it's real. Like, he's laughing away to himself like the maniacal kind of villain and stuff. Just.
He's over
what's
the top
his name?
of
Is Isai Gonzalez? Yeah, Gabriel. Yeah. I just, it's such a bummer. Like, I don't want to call it a bad movie, and I know it's getting great praise for the most part. It's doing quite well, and there are some great action scenes in this, but it's just script, like story wise, the dialogue, man, it is hard to deal with. Like, it's a lot of cringe, a lot of cheese.
And given the runtime, I mean, for Mission Impossible movie, it's the most action light movie. Like, I swear, for an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes, there's no action scene. There's one like fight scene, but it's shot Haley Atwell's face off screen, and then you see the aftermath of the fight, and it's just like, well, I want to see the fight. Like, why aren't you showing me the fight? Submarine thing comes in like halfway through the movie, and that's your first kind of like, all right, here we go. This is an action set piece, and just like, how have I been in the cinema for an hour and a half with people just talking to me about things? There's no, it's like they lost in all this exposition to try and fucking keep the audience up, and we don't want you to lose what we're talking about here, so we show you this. When we're talking about this, look, we're going to show you the clip from the first movie again. This is what we're referencing, and it's like, oh, you fucking told me, and I don't like it, so don't tell me again. But it seems like you've lost the team dynamic. Like there's Tom Cruise spends a lot of this on his own, and the team spend a lot of the time just delivering exposition. And then remember we were saying, like, when we came out of cinema, like they try and ham in at the end of scenes some kind of funny joke thing that doesn't make any sense because this movie takes itself far too seriously. But then they go, oh look, Benji said something funny. Look, he said something funny. Yeah, that's Benji. He's cool. But there's no camaraderie. There's no like, oh, what's the mission? Let's go. How are we going to do it? And that vibe that's made this series so successful, that kind of like, not so much tongue in cheek, but it doesn't take, it's not the end of fucking humankind. You're hoping Ethan Hunt.
I like the whole idea of the gadgets. It's almost like James Bond. Like James Bond has these gadgets that Q comes up with that you don't normally have, and he's shooting missiles out of the car and all this kind of shit. And Mission Impossible, I mean, they have that fucking voice recreator and that the famous fucking mask that makes an appearance in most of them. But that's kind of the highest they go. That's kind of where they go with sci-fi. This whole AI entity that we've from the last movie, that's obviously the main focus of this one. This is the world-ending thing, and it's so sci-fi that like it interacts with people. Like people can talk to this AI. And it's just
But it's never it's just not a menacing threat. Like it doesn't do anything. There's the threat of what it's going to do. And
it's through so much exposition. Like, this is what it's going to do. It never comes out and goes, I have a plan. Humankind needs to be. It's not like the machines in the Matrix, where they're like, okay, humankind we're the cure. Mr. Agent Smith. It's not like that. They've said this is what it's going to do. It's been getting himself into that, and it's going to do this. It's going to do this.
And they know exactly what it's going to do as well. They know like. It's going to control all these things. It could kill us now, but it's not. It's going to wait because it needs to hide. It's just like, what the fuck? It's
the
writing just writes itself into ridiculous corners in this movie. It's
it's such a shame because, as I said, some of the action set pieces are fantastic. Like there is I wish we had more with Paul Clementieff and Benji, even getting to see them do more, because the whole stuff with them is, as you said, is so action light, and it's so, in the other ones, it's kind of, they're doing this mad setup, and everything has to be timed right. They're pretending to be other people, all this kind of stuff, They're not really doing that. They're just trying to get somewhere to facilitate what Tom Cruise on his Toblerone is doing. And
there's so much convenience. There's so much convenience in their time. It's just like
we talked about Havoc being convenient. There's so much of that is with this, and they're talking about having to get down to the square meter where he is. Like it's
which they don't
it's
explain.
Such a shame. No, there's so much of it they don't explain, and so some of the explanations are fucking wild. But I don't know, man. It just maybe you're right. Maybe it is a case that Tom Cruise was heavily involved in the rewriting after this had to be done, because obviously this was going to be shot, when they said it originally, it was going to be shot back to back, which didn't happen. I can only assume, because this is I know he's got a massive ego. I only sent you an article the other day about him saying how he basically saved cinema. He's the one that kept Hollywood making movies during lockdown, when people weren't making movies because they had made a call. He's like, pretty much saved movies. It was like just quite a statement. And like you can see, I think maybe a lot of his ego is in this, because it's so much of it is just focused on him. And I get it, he's the main star of the show, obviously, but you can't just. This is supposed to, as you said, is the IMF. It's the team, and everybody is so. You're not taking the back seat. You're back at the fucking you're in the boot of the car. You know what I mean? It's just, it is. It's a shame, because this is the last one. It's a shame because especially Fallout. I loved Fallout. And I thought he was on a good run, Macquarie. So it's such a shame that this is the end. But like, It's doing well. That's what I said.
Yeah, it's doing well. But like, I just have to, I have to go on a little Tom Cruise rant just for like 2 minutes. When you
Go
told me
nuts.
about that, with that clip of him saving Hollywood movies during the pandemic, like the press junket coming up to this, like like I love Tom Cruise. Up until this movie, I'm starting to kind of go, the same way I kind of went about Dwayne Johnson, kind of going, oh, are they absolutely just maniacal, fucking demented weirdos? Um, like Tom Cruise did an interview. I don't know if you saw it, that hour-long thing at the BFI in London. Sit down, a fireside chat, but he's like, sits down, and there's a clip, and it's on YouTube. Fucking shared at some point. But he's like, he's telling the interviewer, he's like, I had to sit down and I had to teach the actors about the lens. I spent a lot of time teaching about the lens, and so they could understand what the lens is. You need to understand the tool around you. And he goes on about like, yeah, Nicholson, Newman, these guys, they understood the lens. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, it's like being on stage, and it's just, and Tom Cruise was on stage, like in his high school play. I don't know what he's talking about, but he's talking about, like, what to do with your eyes. Do you look at the lens? Is there eye movement? No eye movement? What do you do with your hands? And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
They've been to acting school. They know what a camera is.
It's just they know a camera, and you're told, is it your close up or your wide? The lens doesn't do anything for it. Doesn't make you a better actor. It doesn't whatever. But he's talking about, like, you need to understand the composition around you, from drama to comedy. Like, know what the lenses are and know how you can benefit from them. And it's just like, what are you fucking talking about? You're an actor, you're not a cinematographer. And it's like, it's these actors, becoming deluded. Like, I just can't fucking stand that, where they're just like, you're an actor. It's not your story. Someone else wrote this fucking story in your movie or whatever movie. Just go and fucking act it. The director is going to direct you to act. Know the lens. Like, just fuck off. It's just, yeah, just the ego online. It's just demented. Like, just demented. But yeah, he does my nut in. Yeah, absolutely does.
I suppose there's a lot of actors like that. I mean, I'm a huge fan of a lot of actors who I'm sure you don't know what people are like in real life, but this I think just shows that it is a massive ego trip for him. And yeah, like, I don't know. I think we are in the minority by not thinking it was amazing, because it's got an incredible thing on Rotten Tomatoes. I think Metacritic is maybe a bit more accurate. I think it's got 65 on Metacritic or something like that, which seems to be a bit more accurate. But it seems to be doing well. I don't know sales wise how it's going to do, but Jesus, I don't see it making $1 billion.
No, and I mean, like, we're giving a lot of shit. Like, that movie it's shot impeccably well. It looks fucking amazing. We saw it on IMAX, and it just looks fucking amazing. Sound design is just on point. It's brilliant, and no one's bad in it. It's weird. It's like we're fucking shitting on it, but I don't think it's a bad movie, but it's sure shit is not a good movie. It's just this weird, like, it barely scrapes being a good movie because of what they're trying to do. And just, if they just made a part 2 of part 1, as I really think they were going to do, they could shoehorn in a lot of this stuff that just
I think they shot themselves in the foot trying to give us flashbacks to all this, like, tie-ins. There's tie-ins right the way back to the first movie. One of the characters, two of the characters actually have tie-ins. So you're getting everything. We're getting, like, stock footage of fucking Tandy Newton, Michelle Monaghan. These things. You're like,
Did you find it weird that, like, that they start, like, this is not a spoiler, the movie starts with that, and you have Ving Rhames giving, like, a kind of a voiceover about, all the missions have gone and all this kind of stuff, and it's this monologue, and this is cool, and that's when they've got clips of all the fucking movies, and you're going, truly, this should be at the end of the movie, because it's sorely lacking at the end of the movie if this is what they're trying to do, to, like, is this the final hurrah? And if it is the final hurrah, like, we'll get into it later. The last scene, I was trying to tell you something during it, but I couldn't get it out because I was just fucking, like, my side-splitting laughter. I couldn't believe that, just like, if this is the final scene, I was just like, it was hilariously cheesy and just missed the mark unbelievably, like, in a catastrophic way. Oh.
I think I was just left with a look of confusion on my face. I think that is that last scene is bananas. It's like, I agree with you though. I don't think I'd go as far as to say it's a bad movie. It's just the choices are wild. compared to, and it doesn't, for me, it doesn't gel in with the last two movies. Okay,
Mm.
obviously they're all the same characters and all the rest of it, but it doesn't have the same feel as even, Dead Reckoning, the
Yeah.
movie that preceded it. And yeah, I don't know. I am surprised at how well it's doing, because I found it to be such a mess. At the same time, there's a lot to love about it. I mean, he's a massive fucking star, and you see the stunts and stuff he puts him through are incredible. He must have been the most in shape fucking 63-year-old in the world.
Yeah, and he knows that he gets into his pants for some reason.
Yeah,
for ridiculous reasons.
There's for reasons. Yeah, and loads of running, of course.
He can still run very well.
Yeah, it's there's some great stuff. The cast is phenomenal, as you said. It's shot beautifully. Some of the locations even are just absolutely gorgeous. Like the stuff in Norway with the ice and the rest. I loved all that. It was really, really cool. Being on an actual aircraft carrier as well, which is savage. If they were on the George W. Bush or something like that, awesome. So there's some great stuff in there, but just not a great script, and just not a great story. Even I think when you start going to the levels of sci-fi that this is in, like this is more sci-fi than it is, action, espionage, what Mission Impossible kind of is.
Like when they do, like the only time that, like when Tom Cruise goes, or Ethan Hunt goes and kind of converses with the entity at one point in the movie, and it's just the only time you hear a kind of a voice of it or something like that. But it's just like it's so sci-fi. It could be something out of fucking like fucking any other sci-fi movie that he's fucking been in, War of the Worlds or anything. It could have been a scene from that. It's just so weird. And then he kind of comes out of that scene. He's like on the ground. Is this real? Is this real? We were just fucking rolling our eyes like you've been in this little pod for 2 minutes, and it's just like, just moments like that were just like so missing the mark, so dramatic, so overly serious.
I could barely hear what the entity was saying. I was like, what the fuck is it? Like, when I'm sitting in the front row in IMAX and I'm going, this is like watching Tenet all over again. Like fucking, it was so loud and distorted. I was like, what the fuck is that thing saying? Even some big subtitles. Like,
people say the entity so many times in this movie. If you had a drinking game, like the amount of times by the first hour, you'd have passed out. Like it's fucking nonsense.
Yeah, it's a bummer. What would, like, if you were to give it a star rating, what would you go on?
It's hard. It's between a 2 and a 2.5. Yeah, I can't give it a 3. I don't think.
I would go higher. I would go 3. I think 3 because I really loved that underwater sequence. Well, apart from the hilarious stuff that we'll talk about, but the stuff inside that submarine with the moving water and everything, the way, because it's all, I loved it. The sound design was incredible. I thought it was shot, because a lot of it's shot in very tight spaces. I thought that was awesome. And even the travel, the down to get to the submarine and stuff, I thought was incredible. I loved so much of that. It probably gets a half star for that, underwater stuff. And again, like, there's no one who's particularly bad in it. The action set pieces look amazing. It's shot well. It's just a wank script. You know what I mean? Yeah. It is like, and
that's the main problem.
Level of cheese. Yeah, the level of cheese here is off the fucking scale. Like, I can't get over that shave, the handshake. We'll talk about it in the spoiler section.
Yeah.
But just that, at the end of it, it's just, I know I'd be happy enough to say that it's a 3 out of 5 for me.
No, I go like 2.5, just because the script is just so dire. It's just so much exposition. It's 3 fucking hours long. It's just a mess. There's so many good parts of it, but they're just like, I would never ever in a million years sit through this movie again to get to that part. I just skip to it and look at it and then go, you're going to sit through 80 minutes of fucking exposition drivel. Like, I was bored for so many parts of this. Like, I was either bored or giggling at how absurd and how silly and just how bad this was coming off in terms of what they were trying to do, and it was just missing the mark. And that can only happen when you have a celebrity fucking star calling the shots of something that's deluded, that doesn't live in our world. Because Christopher McQuarrie makes good fucking movies, and I don't believe he made this movie, or he was pushed to make a different kind of movie. Yeah, 2.5, because I just didn't really enjoy the experience. Apart from
No,
maybe 25
yeah,
minutes that were great.
and so unbalanced as well. I think you make a
Mm.
good point about the first hour, over maybe nearly an hour and a half is
So many
every
fun.
single it's exposition after exposition. Are telling you exactly what is happening,
Mm.
and it's like some of it is completely convoluted, but every scene is so heavy. They're not talking like human beings would actually talk. Because
Yeah.
they're talking, they're telling us, they're
Mm.
telling the audience what's going on, and it's just that makes the dialogue even more awkward and uninteresting. I can't get engaged in the scene because the realism is gone when everybody's constantly telling each other exactly
Mm.
what's going on and filling us
Yeah.
all in. It was too much of that. Whereas in the second half, that's when it does kind of ramp up when you get some sweet action set
Mm.
pieces. But yeah, that's in that way it really is heavy on one end. The second half
Mm.
of this movie is so much better
Yeah.
than the first. Yeah,
And a lot funnier than the first.
and funnier. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well,
Uh,
will we call it there on our spoiler-free section?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's get
Okay, we'll call
stuck
it there
in.
in the spoiler-free section, and we'll jump in then to Spoiler Town. So you have been warned. Okay, so I've mentioned the handshake a couple of times, so I just want to talk about it.
Yeah.
That handshake at the end is so we find out Shea Wiggum, who was in the last movie, is actually John Voight's, like Phelps's son from the very first movie, because they
Yeah.
had to start to tie it in. There's no reason for him to be his son. There's no
No.
reason at all. But
They're
they put
trying
it
to
in, so he's
retcon that character
yeah,
as well, and just like because
so,
people didn't like that from the first movie, so we'll try and change that. Just like, what are you doing, like?
and that thing, because they're at the end, and he's obviously been trying to catch him the whole time, whereas the president believes in him, and da da da, and he's kind of, some people are trying to help him, some people aren't, and da da da. But he takes the gun out. And he holds the gun as if he's going to shoot him. And you see Tom Cruise have a look on his face, surrounded
No
by
one
agents.
believes
Oh,
he's
he's not going
gonna
to
do
shoot.
that.
But no one's going to leave, but he has the gun. And then he turns the gun. I was like, oh, he's going to give the gun to him. And it's not. He puts his hand out instead. And we get a close up of the hand. And then they shake hands. And then while they're shaking hands, then they change it from a handshake to one of those thumb hands. Why is that? Why do we get to say it as if it's bro handshake? I think then there's a hug as well. Like, or something. It's just like, it's so cheesy. There was no need for it. Like, and he's been after him. He hasn't, like, just because he's succeeded doesn't mean all of a sudden that he's, he hasn't done all this illegal shit that you've been chasing him for to begin with.
See, that's one of those moments where Tom Cruise goes, "This would be cool. Let's just do this," and no one's going to say, "No, that's a bit fucking." That's the most moronic thing you could probably do now. People in the cinema are going to be screaming, fucking crying, laughing at that. But it's telegraphed so much early in the movie, because he does that earlier in the movie on the plane to go shake his hand. We need to work together, and he doesn't shake his hand, and because it's a close up of the hand, you're just going, oh, like they're going to fucking patch it up later. You just know. From that moment, I knew Ethan Hunt's not going to die. He's going to patch it up with this guy somehow, and they're going to handshake, because you showed me a close up of their hand, not handshaking. Now you're going, like, and it's so bad.
Because the character, think of Shea Wiggum's character. He's like, right, I'm going to pretend, so I'll pull the gun out first. And then I'll take the gun, put it in my other hand, and put my hand out for a handshake. Like, that's how you're going to shake someone's hand. You put your hand out, or you don't. You don't fucking think of it as I'll make him think I'm going to shoot him, and then I'll change it. And it's just like Tom Cruise knows he's not going to shoot. No one. He's in front of a load of other agents, so it's not going to happen. It's just the most pointless thing, just to have a kind of a bro down with Shea Wiggum, and it just. Because we couldn't possibly have anybody upset, with Tom Cruise at the end of this movie. Everybody knows he's the hero that saved the universe, pretty much. Like, and it's just, like it's. I suppose. Do you want to talk about the last that scene at the end, which is supposed, as you said, they could have wrapped this up with the speech from Luther, because Luther had left that voice recording or whatever from.
Yeah,
which
again is slightly slightly implausible as well. We're just like,
it is. It's ridiculous, but
he leaves a message on a fucking drive or whatever, just that we'll get into the fucking plot about the drive and the downloading, all that fucking nonsense beforehand. But that final scene is all of them. You get the voiceover, and this is when, if the movie had been better and it built up to this moment, and then you started getting maybe callbacks and flashbacks, and what the movie at the start, where it shows all the journey they've gone on. If you have that at the end of the movie, like some people online have been going like, oh, I didn't really enjoy it, but the editing's really good. I think the editing's fucking awful in this movie. Like, it's really struggling to fucking make it work. And at the end of the movie, if they just had that, like, well, I'll set the scene first. There's a voiceover from Ving Rhames, and then they all arrive. The team arrive at different times in like Leicester Square, Times Square, or whatever.
It's in London, I think. Yeah,
in London, yeah. And they've also obviously got a WhatsApp, like, oh, let's meet here at this time, and they meet, and like Grace gives the drive to Ethan, and it's like, oh wow. And then Ethan,
does she say anything?
Shouldn't say anything. She just walks up to him, give him the drive. Then he looks around and sees other people arrive just at that moment, Benji and the Russian fucking assassin, whatever. And it's just like, and they just give a little kind of like,
none of them say anything. They all just kind of give each other
smile and nod, and then just fuck off.
Yeah, they don't even walk up together to be in a group to shake hands, right? They all kind of go.
Yeah, and they turn around
and then they just turn around and walk away, and like they're done up. Like Benji's got a fucking tie on. The Paul Clementieff character is fucking she's got a fucking suit on. Her hair is done. Like people are after doing themselves up to arrive here to be on time, just to kind of all look at each other and go.
Fucking, I think Tom Cruise would at least go over and go, "Hey Benji, like, thanks for disarming that fucking nuke and saving the whole thing with the server and the AI, doing all that while I was up on that plane. Thanks for doing all of that while you had a punctured lung and all this fucking shit." And just like,
you know what? They should have let him. They should have let Benji get laid, because at one point he's there, and Paul Clementieff, who's been she's this stone badass killer, but her and Benji have built a relationship, and you can see that she trusts him and he trusts her to save his life, and she's teaching him how to fucking cut her open and stuff, cut him open to save his life. I was like, just let someone else get laid. Tom Cruise is always the one that gets laid in all these movies. It's the last one. Let Benji get some action. And no, he doesn't get it. Because she's holding him all tenderly. She's rubbing his chest, everything, as if like this is so out of character from what we've seen from her so far. I was like, okay, they have the connection there. Nothing. Poor fucking Benji. But it's just, and as you said, nuclear bombs, right? Where in the fuck do they get these nuclear? Like when he goes into, like, Luther's in his thing because Luther's sick and Luther's dying, and Luther wakes up. Your man has put in a nuclear thing that's like that could blow up the city. They said. He says this thing, if this goes off, it can blow up the entire city. It's like, how did you get it in there? This is their secret lair. It's their secret lair or whatever. How did you get in an entire nuke, which is in like parts? It's not like a fucking in a suitcase. This thing is like a big monstrous fucking thing. Like,
pretty sure like the gates of that place, like an underground sewer, the gate. I don't think the gates are wide enough to fucking
this thing
get
was
the
taken
nuke
in. Yeah, it was taken in parts. Like they're putting this thing together. This thing is the size of a hot tub. Like, and they've put it in. And the thing is that you can take out the detonators, and if you take out one of the detonators, it'll explode, but only a big enough explosion. Yeah. That won't be nuclear. That will just blow up. It'll just kill a character, but not big enough to blow up the city. And then later on, we fucking find out they're trying to do their whole mission, and they're locked up in another place with another gigantic nuke. So where the fuck
in a cave
is this lad getting in a cave? Yes, where is this lad getting these fucking nukes? And how is this one is even bigger. Like this one is about the size of a fucking Ford Fiesta, and it's fucking smack bang. And like, how did you get that down there? It's like when? How did you set all this up? It's fucking bananas. It's the nuclear stuff, because it's basically the same
nonsense.
It's the same thing twice, because they have Luther has to do it, and that's what happens. And Luther ends up dying. He was going to die anyway, but Ethan makes it out. Luther sacrifices himself by staying and doing the bomb. But then
do it again at the end.
But then at the end, it's the exact same thing. Only they manage to cut these wires at the same time and get out into the server room and save themselves. But it's the same thing.
But it's like, but the one near the end, right? It's like what I was saying about the plot having no fucking restraint and being written by a 12-year-old or fucking Zack Snyder. One of those fucking things where it's like, this happens, and then this happens, and then what if this happens at the same time, and then this, and it's just like, fucking, will you slow down and stop? This is just, it's no restraint. Like it's one thing after another, but it's not enough that it's just, Christ, we have to download this entity thing into fucking, it's so convoluted. There's like an entity wants to download itself. This is like, I'll try get this in like 30 seconds. Instead of fucking timer.
This is going to be good.
Yeah. So the entity has control of all the nukes, like 7 nuclear fucking sites all over the world. America's the last one, but it won't launch any other ones because he wants to wait until he has all of them, so then he can launch them all together and also hide himself. The AI wants to hide in a bunker in South Africa because it's analog or anything like that. He never thought of just going up to a fucking satellite or something. But do that, He gets downloaded into. They're going to download him. They've stolen a source code from a fucking submarine. He gets downloaded into a little Game Boy device. Luther is a poison pill thing that's going to be put into that. Then the source code goes into it and the AI goes into it, but then he gets transferred to the fucking South Africa bunker. But here's the best one. Like, Grace is the one that she's the only one that can really, like, she has to wait until he's downloaded in, and she's 100 milliseconds to pick it out again, which is a tenth of a second, but she's the one to do it because Tom Cruise says, because you're a good pickpocket. It's all about timing.
They use the same line twice.
It's all
a
about
good pickpocket
timing.
And a great pickpocket.
Timing.
And they say the
Just
line
like,
earlier in the movie so they can say it later
again,
on, so fucking Grace
like,
can do it.
What the fuck?
And she
but
basically...
That's the thing, but the light, the light on that little thing, like, so it's 100 milliseconds, but the little device that he's been downloaded into, she's to wait until that lights up. So that's the time for a bulb to go off in this thing as well. And then is that included in 100 milliseconds? And she's to pull it out at the same time. And that's all like, this is nonsense. But again, the kid writing it goes, but while that's happening, she also has to defuse some fucking device or whatever. And Benji's the only one that can do that. So he's going to try and tell her that. But he's dying because his lung is collapsing. So the Russian assassin, who has no medical training,
she's
going to... Is she French?
Yeah.
Sorry.
She's speaking French.
Oh my God,
the actor's French.
Sorry. She just looks Russian to me. But she operates on him at the same time, and you're going, okay, there's that happening, right? That's a bit too fucking much. And then we get to your nuclear bomb outside, where there's 3 other people trying to disarm that from killing everybody. And at the same time, Tom Cruise is on a plane having a fight with this plane, and he has to put something into his Game Boy device to download it, and they're all waiting on that. And it's like, holy fucking God. It's just...
Yeah, it's because...
What's
his face? It's because Gabriel's
nonsense.
He's gotten the poison pill, and he needs the pill.
And where does he keep it, Bill?
He keeps it around his neck, and the fact he's dangling around his neck, we get no less. There has to be at least a half a dozen close-ups, as in, we know where it is. You've showed it the first time. But every so often, it's just a big action scene. He's hanging off the plane. And then, quick, just all we do is just a quick flick over, a couple of seconds, show the thing around his neck. Then we jump back out. And they do it like 5 or 6 times just to see this thing dangling around his neck. And we know he fucking has it. We can see it. But it's that whole end of it. Like, she's got that drive that they're going to catch him on. She has to grab this drive, which basically just looks like a glow-in-the-dark Mars bar kind of fucking thing, and like, and this, but apparently it's got like 1 billion fucking gigabytes.
No, it's actually, they said like it's a first things first, it's a 5D optical drive. Is it 5 dimensions? What the fuck are you talking about? But then they said it's 360 terabytes on this thing. I was like, like, I have fucking terabyte drives here. I have a 16 terabyte drive there. Is it? That's not fucking impressive. Like,
but it's impressive because it's just a glow in the dark stick. I mean, there's nothing else on it. There's no I don't know how it plugs into anything or whatever. It just, but they have this fucking thing. But she has to snip of wires and grab this thing in a split second, and it was everything was on that. Like, if she cocked that up, then game over. The world is going to end. So like Tom Cruise, he's playing his part. But if she doesn't get this time, all this down to just one human error. She should be the one getting fucking a parade or whatever.
Yeah.
But
there's just like they get to the point where they ramp up the stakes so much in so many different levels that there are no stakes. I mean, there's more tension in fucking Lethal Weapon, Blue Wire, Red Wire than anything in this movie. That end of it is just kind of going, oh my God, you're just banging someone over the head. Look, this happened and this happened and this happened. And it's just all coming down to like utter convenience. And Tom Cruise could have put that in, the little Game Boy thing, numerous fucking times while he's fallen to earth, but
but like, because this movie is so heavy on the back end, if you could have had these kind of scenes, as you said, spread out throughout the movie, and it might have felt a lot more level, and you build up, then we get a little bit of, you build the tension, and then, okay, what's happening next? Give me some more. Absolutely. And then build the tension again. But instead, like you said, it's the end of it. It's like, okay, but now there's even more at stake, because now he's been stabbed, and now there's a bomb, and now there's and now there's... And
they've thrown the kitchen sink at it. And it's
like what else can we do, like, to make it as perilous as possible? But it was already a difficult plan to begin with, but now... There's a nuke involved, there's fucking, the Russians are getting involved. But the submarine thing, right? Because this blew my mind. So he gets on board the sub. The president has a mate who owns who runs what's it called? She's the commander of a aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
And that she has a mate who has one of the like one of the most amazing fucking stealth submarine guys who is Trammell thing
from Severance, yeah.
From Severance. And so she's like, if we can catch him, if he's in the right time, he'll pop up. But like they take off, they're looking for where he might be after sending out the signal. We don't know if he's got it or not because he's down a certain depth. If he pops up, the Russians will see him. Tom Cruise, this is like supposed to be in like Russian Arctic fucking waters. He bails out of one of those helicopters straight into this freezing cold water. Yeah, just straight in. Like, were you dead in like a minute? And he just so happens that while he's there, all of a sudden, these scuba divers jump out and take him into the submarine.
Like, how have people in the room when Tom Cruise? There's only Tom Cruise comes up with this. Well, what if I just jump out into the Arctic Sea? And no one went. I don't know about that one now, Tom. and then the sub finds me. Yeah, and then that progresses the whole fucking plot. But there's so many bits like that where the aircraft character, you can take that whole fucking thing out of it and just say that the president knows somebody on a submarine or something, and then he just goes to the submarine, and then there's 10 minutes gone from the fucking movie. That part doesn't need to be in there. But then he wouldn't get to jump into the fucking Arctic Ocean. But
get into the ocean because he's in the submarine and he meets the kind of there's a lot of fanatics out there as well. We should say that some people are on the side of the thing, which is just weird. They're like a cult that follow the AI.
That
anyway,
doesn't need to be in it either.
Well, they go in and you meet the captain of the submarine and his crew, and they don't like him at the start, but then he explains to them what he's trying to do. Anyway, they give him this prototype suit that they haven't tried. That's like deep sea diving thing. It's a mixture of gases, and because someone who does crazy ass deep sea diving, you see the tanks and all the shit they have to wear, and they have these fucking mix so they don't get fucking hypoxia and stuff. These deep sea divers have anybody with them watching this would have been like, okay, tell us what gases, and he goes, we can't tell you, it's classified. Like, you lazy bastard, you
just do the science, come on.
And so they give him his suit, but they give him his suit, so he's basically going to go deeper than any man or woman has ever gone before in this suit. He's just falling. They tell you about the suit
so many times. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the suit is like down there. You're going to start losing control of your fucking faculties. You're going to start feeling dazed, everything, because it's so far. And then you've got the pressure of the water on top of you. Like, this is serious business. Anyway, he gets down. He does the business, which I loved. I loved the whole scene in the thing.
The warheads and stuff. It's great.
Yeah, it's really great. But when he just has to get out. He can't find a way out because the door is blocked. So he says, right, I see a torpedo tube, but he can't fit into the torpedo tube. And as you said, Daz, he could have just cut off the backpack that's strapped to it and put that through. But instead, he cuts it here all across it. So he's basically got a mask on and he's in his pants.
Wetsuit.
Yeah, and he's in his pants and everything. And so he pushes the backpack into the fucking tube. He crawls through and he makes it out as the fucking submarine falls down to even further down into the depths of the ocean. He falls out and he's holding on to his backpack and he's got his mask in this freezing cold water. So it doesn't matter that you can breathe. Your whole body is now exposed to the elements. And what happens, the submarine, as it's falling, it catches onto his thing. And so he has to let it go. So he takes his last breath of air and lets it go. So he is now down. I think they said something like 500 feet or 500 meters. They said it's like, he just starts swimming. And swimming like fucking Dory, just keeps swimming. And next thing he's only like he's like fucking 10 seconds from the ice when he finally goes and kind of drowns. And it's so they can show a shot of him in his pants all curled up and ripped and stuff. But luckily,
here's the fucking part.
At the right time, at the time that they've managed to get all their malarkey done in the background, Grace and all the rest of it, she shows up with the Inuit woman and they get a fucking hole drilled in the ice. They fucking pull him out. They have the decompression chamber sitting there ready to go. We don't see any of it. We go from him being drowned to him being getting the breath of life or the kiss of life from Grace.
And Grace was given a thing, or was Tom given a thing that said they'll be able to find you within 2 square miles. They'll get to you. They'll know where you are in and around that. And just like, how how is it, because it's a lovely shot when he's, when he loses consciousness and the camera kind of flips around upside down. So
Yeah,
when
and the ice is
he
yeah.
floats up to the top of the ice, but it looks like he's lying on it, and then it's a nice kind of transition there. It's lovely, but then it's like, also they somehow saw him under the ice somewhere, found him, and just drilled exactly where he was. How, like, it just, that as a convenience thing, like, you can let certain things go, but you're just going, that's not Mission Impossible. That's just fucking bullshit. Like, it's just,
And not
you
just that, like
can't
she's
do that. And
they
it's
she
two women are going to chop through the ice and pull out this fucking big fucking dude. Like, well, five
But
foot
not just
seven
that, they've
must
been
be.
looking at, but they've been talking about the time. Like, okay, we have to hurry up. We have to get the signal sent, or he has to get the signal sent. We keep sending this so that we can find out exactly where he is. And there's a whole time of them getting there in time. Grace is rushing to get there, and the dog sled, whatever else. But when they get there, like you said, not only they have to dig in the ice, they have a mobile decompression chamber that has to be set up. So it's her and the Inuit woman or wherever she's from. The two of them set up this whole fucking decompression chamber that he's going to have to sit in. And so she's in there with him, of course. But like, there's no, it's wild. It even for Mission Impossible, the timing of this thing is fucking out of the, like, they've gone ridiculous with it. Like.
Yeah, like that sequence is it's good in moments, and I think the sequence for me worked the best because it's not. It's like it's an action sequence, but it's not. Oh, look at Tom Cruise held his breath for 6 minutes or something. It's just like they just play it out like an action scene. He's trying to dodge the warheads as it.
Oh yeah, I loved it. Like I said, that was
really,
like I said,
fucking
spoiler-free
good.
section.
But then it just makes no sense after that. It's just fucking action Jesus doing ridiculously improbable and implausible things. It's just you and getting.
How did he make it up 500 fucking meters? Exhaling? Did you exhale for the 500 fucking meters?
You have to exhale the whole
or
way up to
your
avoid
lungs
the bends.
explode.
Yeah, they'll explode.
Your lungs explode. That's if you're in the suit. I mean, he's just in his fucking undies. You know what I mean? Like, nothing. How? Like,
that's another one of those moments where you're like, Tom's gone. Chris, like, what if I just take off the mask? And he's like, well, no, the script says, and we've talked about it 3 times, that you really need this suit. And even with the suit on, you might fucking die and you might explode. And he's like, what about, let's just take it off. I'll swim up. And he's just gone, fuck it, yeah, whatever. It's just, oh my God. Like, that was just one of those laugh out moments. Just like, why is he in his pants? How is he freezing to death? Like, minus whatever. It's just, there's just so much of that just smacks of someone who's just absolutely living in a fucking parallel
so self-indulgent
world. Yeah,
it's absolutely just so self-indulgent. But like, again, from a directing point of view, it looked fucking cool. And it did look cool. The shots are amazing. Even the stuff afterwards when we get that pulled out shot of just the thing set up on the ice and everything, and it's gorgeous. The lighting is great. There's so much of it that looks fantastic. It's just it's the dialogue and the scenario itself is just so ridiculous. I'm not saying the other movies are super grounded, but they are way more than this,
Yeah, and they just don't take themselves that seriously. This just ventured. It's just almost changed genre, like, you know what I mean? It's gone into this fucking mad, soft sci-fi, just action Jesus kind of shit, where the whole team are just like, they get kind of things to do, but it's not character moments. There's no moments where the actors and the camaraderie and things get to breathe. And I think that's because it's just like, I can imagine like this was a far longer fucking cut as well. The fact that they shoehorned in all this kind of stuff to retcon and connect to earlier movies means that scenes that should have been nice scenes in this are scenes that now feel like it's overly bloated. Like the callback to the guy in the first Mission Impossible, where I can't remember his name, but the guy in the fucking, in that room where Ethan drops the knife in the first movie, and it's brilliant. And it's really nice that, like, he has a moment where he's telling Ethan, actually, like, I got fired the next day and I got sent up here to the Arctic, and if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have met my wife. And you're kind of going, that would be a lovely moment if it's in the middle of a 2.5 hour, 2 hours, 20-minute movie that has more personal moments, more character moments, and less just, this is going to happen. That's mainly why I felt it was boring, because they're telling you, like, the exposition is filling you in on stuff over and over again, but it's telling you what's happening, what just happened, and what we're going to do, and they're showing you what we're going to do, and then they kind of go and do it, and it's like, but where's the intrigue? Where's the mystery? Where's the fucking Mission Impossible? Where's the wow, that was cool? It's just, and I feel
Yeah.
that's from the trailers as well. They're just showing too much. Like the plane thing, it is an incredible feat of fucking stunt work, and like in a year where it's in the Oscars and stuff, those are lauded, and you're just going, that's fantastic that Tom Cruise is doing that. But in the movie, you're going, I feel like
It drags the book, yeah.
yeah, and it's not a wow moment for me in the context of the movie or the narrative. It's not like wow, it's you're taken out of it going, that's Tom Cruise in a plane. It's just like, that's not engaging to me whatsoever. I'll watch a behind the scenes little mini documentary about that to be wowed. It's like,
Yeah, it's a shame. I think though. I think I agree with you so much in so many parts of it, especially regarding the like the tiebacks. There was, you could have cut out so much of this movie without giving us flashbacks to all the other movies. The rabbit's foot thing, tying in Phelps with Shea Wiggum's character, everything being interconnected. We don't need that. We're getting flashbacks. We got flashbacks to Fallout. There's flashbacks to the previous movie. Like they're just pretty much every movie got a shout out. You know what I mean? And it's no. But I think if we were to start going into all the stuff that's hammy about this, would be here all bleeding years. So maybe we should just call it. Maybe we should just call it a day on this one and wrap it up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, for me, it's if it is the last one in the franchise that I've loved for the most part, even the second one, I still saw that about 6 times because it's baffling. It'd be a shame if this is how it ends, because it ends with less of a bang and more of a whimper, a clueless whimper. That's like a sound of an album or something.
You're thinking your clueless whimper. It's a bit like Careless Whisper, only.
That's where I was going. But yeah, thanks for taking us through that, Phil. That was we could bang on about that for fucking ages. So yeah, that's an end for this week's episode. Thanks as always for listening and subscribing and liking, sharing, and all the above. Keep the feedback coming, and we'll be back next week with another movie, hopefully a little bit better. Take it easy.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.